reproduction.
Hello and welcome to The Bomb Filter, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to determine the worst movie ever made. We take bad movies and put them through a series of tests to decide just that. I'm your host, Chris Ackman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci. Hey, Rob, how are you? And why are we doing this?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'm doing not so great because I have a cat named Clyde. You hear him probably meowing in the background on the podcast sometimes. He likes to stand on all my stuff, my guitars, my audio interfaces, my laptop. He pulled off the B button on my laptop. I didn't have time. Like, it's easy. It's a kind of easy fix. Like the pieces are really small and there's a little brackets that you got to pop back in. And I didn't know how to do it. So I watched a tutorial, realized the brackets didn't really match. That was in the what was in the tutorial. So I decided I'd take the V button off to see what it looked like when it was intact. And now I can't get the V button back on. And when we edit the show, I do Control V quite a bit to paste in the audio clips. And
is it going to work?
Oh no, I could poke it. It's just there's no button, but like the little dongle thing's there. But like I also have a shortcut which is Control B, which binds my clips together. So I kind of shot myself in the foot trying to make something better by making it a lot worse. So yeah, but why we're here is to talk about Grease 2. Yeah, the great Grease 2.
It's not a good reason why, but that is the reason why.
Yeah.
You want to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Bad reviews. Janet Maslin of the New York Times says, less a sequel than a retread, dizzy and slight, with an even more negligible plot than its predecessors. This time the story can't even masquerade as an excuse for stringing the songs together. I like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's another one here. I'm just going to read it. Okay. This movie just recycles Grease. Without the stars, without the energy, without the freshness, and without the grease. Any guesses?
That's got to be Raj Podge.
That's old Raj. Yeah. Raj Podge himself.
Our buddy Raj.
Do you have any YouTube comments?
I got a couple really good ones. First one. I remember high school. All the spontaneous mass singing and dancing. Let's see, where'd the other one go? This one's great, and I'll explain why it's great when I'm done reading it. I went to a private school across the street from the high school where the movie was filmed during my senior year, and my father had a janitorial service, and since we were the first in the phone book, Paramount Pictures called us to be the cleaning crew, and got to meet some of the cast and crew. That's the whole story.
Okay.
He didn't say who we met.
Yeah, right.
What they were like how
probably can't remember their names.
Yeah. And that was the story. That was the entire story.
Woo!
And then, let's see, the last one is the best thing that happened to Grease 2 is Michelle Pfeiffer.
That is so accurate.
Yeah.
It's my highlight, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
You want to do test number 1?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So this is the Keystone apparatus. To get a proper evaluation of the film, we study the ecosystem that the film exists in. So we average the Rotten Tomatoes critic scores for the movies suggested to us by the streaming service for our subject, and then we compare the film of study to that average. Let's then determine if the film is predator or prey, depending on whether it's better or worse than its surroundings. So let's get into test number 1, the Keystone apparatus.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, step up to witness my latest creation, the darn, tooted, rage-inducing, convoluted, highfalutin Keystone apparatus. You want to know if you're predator or prey? Then step this way and have your say. Wait, oh no, what's happening? Something is going terribly wrong! Keystone apparatus.
All right, so of course Grease is the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. A 76 it got.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's pretty good. Footloose with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Got a 51. I thought it would do better, but I don't like it. I think it's pretty bad.
The Loggins song, Footloose, has a killer fucking bass line during the chorus. It's like all over the place. Like, people
Really?
always talking about like Flea or Jaco Pastorius, but like the Loggins and Messina song is just like it's all over the fucking place. It's insane.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I never noticed. Swayze and Dirty Dancing. Dirty Dancing got a 69.
Okay.
Hairspray with John Travolta.
Yeah,
that got a 91.
I guess I couldn't
believe that.
It was a different time, I guess.
Yeah. Overboard with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
Mm-hmm.
At a 44. I like that movie. But that's one of my, I grew up with it kind of movies.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
You've never seen it?
No.
It's, I don't know. It's cute.
Okay.
Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey got a 50.
Okay.
I've also seen that. It's nothing worth watching.
All right.
And then some movie I've never seen before with Elizabeth Shue, who I think was in Karate Kid.
I think she was also in Leaving Las Vegas.
That could be. It's called Adventures in Babysitting. Also got a 69, like Dirty Dancing did.
Right.
I've never seen it. But anyway, it's a pretty high average of 64%.
Okay.
Grease 2, how do you think it did?
Like 25?
Good guess. It got a 39. That was surprising to me.
Okay.
Negative 25, it is Prey.
Yeah.
Not the worst score we've ever seen, but it's still bad because it's a bad movie. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is our first score. I've jotted it down. So why don't we jump into test number 2 and keep this pace up?
Okay.
This is the elevator movie plot pitch. So an easy way to determine the strength of a movie is to summarize its plot as succinctly as possible. The gold standard plot pitch for the bomb filter is The Big Lebowski. Short, clear, and easy to understand. The Big Lebowski can accurately be summarized in as little as 13 seconds. When summarized, bad movies are convoluted, unclear, and lengthy. To help us determine how bad our subject is, we compare its plot pitch to that of our 13-second standard. Any seconds past that adds to our score, and then we also administer a star rating. Let's do test number 2, the elevator movie plot pitch.
The elevator movie plot pitch.
Why does that get me every time?
I don't know. 3.
All right, you.
Yeah. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Give me your money. Wallet, watch, purse, diamond. I want the necklace too. Put them in this bag. Quick. I don't have all afternoon, motherfuckers. Don't get any ideas or I'll shoot. Come on. Let's go. Necklace too. That's right. Now lay down. Face down on the ground. Yeah, that's right. Now count to 100. And you can get up. I'm going to stand here for a while and make sure you're counting. Go. That there was an accurate summary of the plot. Come to the theater and give us your money. We'll give you nothing back. By the end, you'll feel like you've been mugged. The T-Birds are lame. The Pink Ladies, too. There's no tension. Everyone is 30 years old. And anyone with charisma has the wrong kind. Boo. Just boo. Time.
46 seconds.
46 seconds against. So 33.
Yeah.
How did you like my my plot pitch?
It reminded of me of South Park when Jordan Stolsky was like murdered while doing the morning announcements.
Oh yeah.
And then like later in the episode, Cartman went too long and he's like, well, Jordan Stolsky got to go 5 minutes that one morning. And they're like, yeah, that's because he was being murdered.
Yeah. That was messed up. Really funny.
That was a great plot pitch because we're going to touch on the 30-year-old thing quite a bit, I feel, because that was my biggest axe to grind, I think, about this movie.
It kills me. It really does. So what's your star rating for that?
I'll give you a 4.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I tried to put the voice acting in there as much as possible. Okay, so we have our score of 33 and a 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, Grease 2.
Yeah.
Kind of long, but good score overall. Yeah. Test number 3, the indefensible dialogue counter.
Mm-hmm.
This test gathers the horrible lines of dialogue into a collection that is then tallied to give us our score. So if Rob cannot defend the line of dialogue, we tally it, and then we get our result. So test number 3, the indefensible dialogue counter.
Something that makes absolutely no sense. Something similarly stupid.
All right, this one's got some meat. There's a lot of meat on the bone here.
Mm-hmm.
number one, I'm going to start right at the beginning. This is taken from Back to School Again, the song that was written. You might know where I'm going here. The singer says, "Stole like a bandit till the bubble burst. Then suddenly it got to be September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
What's he talking about?
I mean, in an effort to defend it, I guess he was stealing like a bandit. Like maybe he was stealing like those free nights of his youth to enjoy.
Okay.
So he was like, stealing that like a bandit. And then the bubble burst, and the bubble bursting is the end of August.
Okay, I see what you're.
I'm not going to defend it, just so mark it off right now. But that's what I think.
I see where you're going.
May be behind it. And just real quick, last couple of weeks I've been doing a lot of family stuff. So I've been watching like the Prime Nugs from this movie because I've seen it before. But I've been driving around listening to the soundtrack as well. So,
I'm so sorry.
So like I've been my youngest son, he's 5 months old. He's been really finicky, and he only sleeps when I'm driving. So I've just been driving around listening to podcasts, and this last week I've been listening to Grease 2. So
I'm really sorry. Driving around does work though.
Yeah, it really does.
Number 2, the coach. I didn't bother to write down his name. I don't know it. You know, the basketball coach guy.
Yeah.
Hey, how tall are you? Never mind. We'll put high heels on your sneakers and make you center.
It wouldn't work. That's just
no, it wouldn't. No. They would know, and that wouldn't. How could you run up and down the court?
You think he would have learned that in coach school?
Yeah, when you go to coach school to become a coach.
I don't know the way schools are portrayed in this movie. Maybe he just spent all his time singing and dancing. So.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, who knows? That could be. Yeah. So are you defending it or no? Okay, clip number 1. This is number 3 of our IDC. Okay. This is Michael approaching the bowling alley.
Okay.
Always be courteous when asking for a game. Hi. Want a game? Howdy, fellas. Let's bowl some balls. Bowling, anyone?
Howdy, fellas. Let's bowl some balls gets me every time.
It's like an alien like reading a How to Be Human book.
Yeah.
Like, did they have guides? Like, I know they make fun of it like on like sitcoms and stuff. But, you know, like they always have like these how to like throw a party or like these etiquette books or whatever. Did those really exist at a certain point, or is that just something that was made up on movies?
Probably, but I've never personally seen one.
Yeah.
My grandma on my mom's side would be the kind of person to buy one of those too, like for hosting a Thanksgiving party or something. And I've never seen one in her like personal library she had. So
how to organize throw pillows in the drawing room.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I've never seen one. So I don't think they really do.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, listener. Number 4 is DiMucci to Johnny, right?
Okay.
They're at the bowling alley still. He says, "Hey, you got a thing with Paulette?" Johnny says, "Let's just say I'm giving her therapy for her disease." And then Goose says, "What disease?" And Johnny says, "Nymphoid mania."
That's wrong on so many levels. I don't care about the sexual aspect, but like nymphomania is someone who's insatiably like full of lust. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So curing nymphomania, he's implying he's boning her. But that wouldn't be curing it. That'd be feeding her addiction.
Good point. I didn't even go that far. I didn't even get to that level of thinking. Well said. So, also, I think it's weird how they add oid to the end of a couple of things. We'll get another example of that later, and I'll point it out then. But that's not how you say it either. I don't believe.
Yeah, correct.
So we're not defending that one, right?
No.
Okay. Number 5 is Michael. He's talking to Stephanie while kind of pretending to play the piano. And he says, "I wanted to ask you if you're free after school today." Stephanie says, "Yeah, I'm free every day. It's in the Constitution." So cheap.
I know the movie takes place in the 60s, but a big thing in like movies from the 80s and 90s, there's always like in the action movies, there is always a Russian villain because of the Cold War. And I feel like that like hyper America pride, even though the movie takes place in the 60s, it was made in the 80s. Yeah. I feel like they're just trying to jam that down whenever they can.
Oh, it's definitely in there. Yeah. Another thing that will it actually ties into the line that I just said with the oids.
Yeah.
So I'll tie that bow on there nicely when we get to it. But yeah,
Okay.
you're totally right. Those themes exist in this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Number 6, during Cool Rider, right? This is something I picked up on this viewing, which was my 5th or 6th time watching this movie.
Yeah.
Because I secret love it. I'm not going to lie.
It's like that. It's the happy cringe. And I hate using the word cringe because like people use that for like content in weird ways now. But like it's a happy cringe.
The original reason that you would say cringe. The actual reason, like the actual explanation.
You get secondhand embarrassment.
Yes, which is really nice.
Yeah.
I like to bathe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
During Cool Rider, on a locker behind Michelle Pfeiffer, 7, it says inflammable liquids on a locker.
Mm-hmm.
Why would it not just say liquids?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
why
know.
specify that it's it should say flammable, because you need to know that something can light on fire. Don't bring it into like a hot area because it might catch or something.
Yeah.
But inflammable liquids would suggest that they don't catch on fire very easily.
Yeah.
Why do I need to know that? Is it water?
You know what? I always hear confusion over flammable and inflammable. Now I'm not so sure anymore because I forget what sitcom it was when something lit on fire and it was like a damsel in distress. And she's like, well, I said it was inflammable. So
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Inflammable that would suggest that it's not flammable, right?
Through regular etymology, I believe so. And having majored in literature, I'm kind of upset I don't know this.
Well, we're gonna go with that, because that's bad for the movie. But also, even if it were, if it did mean that they were actually flammable somehow through some weird twist, they're just stored in some locker with no lock on it, like in the area where they put props and stuff. So
in a movie where everybody has a pack of cigarettes rolled into their sleeves and they have enough grease in their hair to fucking set a barn on fire.
Yeah, good. Everyone's flammable.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Number 7 is DiMucci.
Okay.
He's talking to Michael here, and he says, I got this essay on the fall of Rome. I didn't even know they were in trouble.
That's just really dumb.
I hated that.
Yeah.
That's 7 for 7. Okay, this brings us to clip number 2, and this is a doozy. Mm-hmm. But we cannot forgive them for the dialogue in this song, Reproduction. So we're going to play you a nice chunk of clip here for Reproduction of the song. And then I'm going to go back over the lines after we're done.
Yeah.
And we'll count them up and see what we're at when we go.
You're going to be like you're going to be like a pirate or a bank robber that's just emptying out the burlap sack on the ground to see the spoils of your voyage.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go ahead and do this.
We need this for the exam.
The parts of a flower are so constructed that very, very often the wind will cause pollination. If not, then a bee or any other nectar-gathering creature can create the same situation. Yes, anything that gets the pollen to the pistils right on the list. I'll try to make it crystal clear. A flower's insatiable passion turns its life into a circus of debauchery. Now you see just how the stamen gets its lusty dust onto the stigma. And why this frenzied chlorophyllus orgy starchy spring is no enigma. We call this quest for satisfaction a what class?
A photoperiodic reaction.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's very good.
Hey, I'm lost. Where are we? Chapter 2.
Page 5.
Reproduction. Put your pollen to work.
Reproduction.
Make my stamen go berserk.
Reproduction.
I don't think they even know what a pistol is.
I got your pistol right here.
Back there. Would you get in your seat?
Sit down.
Next chapter. Now, in an abstract way, the same thing applies to the reproductive organs of the more complex life forms. But we are now dealing with sexual response. On any questions before we begin reading?
Is it possible the female member of some sex on a couch could, like, get this guy all hot and she never even knew it?
Negative.
When a warm-blooded mammal in a tight little sweater starts pulling that stuff, she's saying that she wants to do it. Prove it by me, cause they changed the tune when you got him in the backseat. His heart beating fast.
Making it sound like a trapping grouse. Yeah, and all they can do is say, na 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 na. Reproduction. Baby, give it to me now. Reproduction. Is that all?
Okay.
That is maybe the worst song I've ever heard. Okay,
It's
so
well
I wanted
composed though. I mean, like just the
Yeah,
way
true.
they jam their lines and stuff like that. But like, it's catchy. But like lyrically, yeah, it's like a Chili Pepper song.
It's nice. So yeah, I'm going to go through the finer points here. So so we were on 7. So number 8 is the line about the insatiable passion turns the garden into a scene of debauchery.
Yeah.
Do you want to defend that?
I mean, there's a beautiful imagery right there. No, I don't.
How about the lusty dust onto the stigma?
No, because they're literally describing a cum shot using pollen as an analog.
Right, but it's flowers. So frenzied chlorophyllus orgy also I can tick off then, yeah? By that principle.
What if they said chlorosyphilitic? And then they just slipped it in there, and then they all had like, the burns. The burn when you have syphilis? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm not a syphilis, so I'm not 100% sure.
No, you're not a gun. You're not a knife. You're not.
I'm not someone's dead mom, and I'm not a syphilis.
Yeah, we got a list going here.
Yeah.
Number 11 is this really pissed me off. Chapter 2, page 5. So they're on chlorophyllus orgy, page 5. They've covered everything up to that in 4 pages, and the first page or the first chapter then was 4 pages.
Yeah, and like I was trying to think of a way why did they say that. I thought it was like the 5th page of chapter 2, but that's not how books work. So
no. So we're gonna take that one off too then.
Yeah.
So 12, put your pollen tube to work.
Yeah. If I were single and I went to a bar and I was like, "Hey, sweetheart, I want to put my pollen tube to work."
Yeah. I think you would be denied.
Someone would ask me to leave.
Yes, probably. The manager.
Yeah.
Number 13, make my stamen go berserk.
I don't like the word berserk. It just reminds me of the game Doom.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
14, I got your pistol right here, baby.
Yeah, also stupid.
Yep. And lastly, is it possible a female member of some sex on a couch could like get this guy all hot and he never even knew it?
Also stupid.
Agreed. Okay, so that's 15. And thank you everyone for bearing with that song once more. Number 16, this is not involved in reproduction. Michael's report for Davey Jaworski. Remember how he was doing essays for cash, right?
Yeah.
So Davey Jaworski is the like guy who rides in the sidecar on the motorcycle. And he's I just wrote down what he wrote.
Okay.
That like little paragraph, and I wanted to read it.
Okay. This
is what he's getting a passing grade with.
Okay.
Nevertheless, herein lies notwithstanding the albeit quintessential dissimilarity, I don't even know what that word is, between the primate male and its human cousin. And the title is Sex Morality in the Animal Kingdom.
It almost reads like a piece of law documentation. You know, like the legalese where like they're trying to like choose their words very carefully so there's no verbal loopholes that can get them sued like down the line.
It's funny you say that because it reminds me of that part in Willy Wonka, the like 70s one.
Yeah.
With Gene Wilder where he has them like sign the contract in the beginning and he reads off some of the stuff. Like or maybe at the end when Charlie, like he's reading the contract to Charlie that Charlie signed.
Yeah, when he's like washed and sterilized.
Yeah, right. Okay, so do you want to defend that?
No.
16. 17. During Who's That Guy, which maybe should count just by itself is the name of the song. Who's that guy? Michael says two things that bothered me, so I wrote them both down as separate lines.
Okay.
He says, "Everyone around you thinks that you're a star."
Yeah.
I'm trying to go as flat as possible.
Yeah.
Do you like that line?
No, because you're saying how cool you are by placing the onus on other people who may or may not think that about you.
Right. Number 18, and this is also Michael. They say something that was, about him being cool. And he says, "What would they say if they knew this was Michael?"
That'll be in the logical inconsistencies for sure.
Okay, cool. Number 19, Stephanie to Michael at the burger bar.
Okay.
He uses the word incestuous. Mm-hmm. Apparently she's never heard that word before. She says, "Incestuous, you're really smart, huh?"
Why go down the street when you could just cross the hall, I guess?
Yeah, well said. Number 20, and now the winners of the talent contest and the king and queen of the Lani Kailani Luau, Mr. Nagarelli and Mrs. Zanoni. I will tell you later why that pissed me off so much, but do you want to defend it?
No.
Okay, 20. Holy crap. Okay, we've got two more, and this next one's our third clip.
Okay.
Two more, guys. Hang in there.
All right, here we go.
Then don't fraternize with the enemy.
Mark that as strike.
What are you talking about? You hit two lousy pins.
That is technical strike. The fact that these chicks were late. Read your bowling rules.
That's right. Read them and weep.
That's not fair.
That's such horseshit.
The thing I love about those lines, though, I'm not defending it, but just the fact that cause I like Christopher McDonald because he's like Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, and he's like in Salt Lake City Punk, and he's always a good extra character. He always plays like that slimy piece of shit, but he does it really well.
He does, yeah.
But I just love when like every line, every zinger somebody else says, like "read your bowling rules." He's in the background like, "Yeah, read your bowling rules." Like he's just copying them, like repeating what they said for validation.
Yeah. I guess the name Goose is like kind of appropriate somehow.
Yeah.
It's like Weasel or, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's 21.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, man. Yeah, you only hit two pins. Yeah, but the other girls were late, so it counts as a strike. It's like, what? Just the fact that they wrote that. Okay, here's number 22, and it's a doozy.
Okay.
This is taken from Rockahula Luau.
Oh, great.
Walla wababa hula. Rockahula, rockahula. Luau, luau, luau. A wham bama. Lama shama langa langa. Ra ra rydell. Whamma lama lama. Rockahula luau. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, well, indeed. I know I mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers a second ago, and I'm a fan of the band because the musicianship's good, but there's a song off their first album called Get Up and Jump, and the lyric is, I know this because I looked it up recently, Jamma Baba, Jimma Baba, Slimma Baba Boogie, to the tune of Slimma Bibby, you're acting mighty silly. Say what? You've got a pumpkin in your pants.
Oh my God. Okay, so kind of the same, maybe they, had a ghostwriter that also wrote for Grease 2.
Yeah, like Anthony Kiedis. Before writing all the songs about California, Anthony Kiedis was just like ghostwriting for like the Grease scripts.
Could be, dude. A lot of similarities here. Did you want to mention anything?
Nothing to add, but just back to the reproduction song. There's one, and maybe this is for a later segment, but there's one. There's two things about it. The first one is, who is that charged up verbally about talking about wanting to have sex? Like we've talked about this before.
We have,
and you lose that mentality when you're like 13.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether or not you've lost your virginity, like you just like oh the boobies, yeah, I'm gonna stick my pee-pee, and like you just.
Hopefully you do. Yeah, I mean a lot of like maybe the Jerry Springer kind of watcher crowd is still into that kind of. I don't know if it's not humor. It's just weird that it's a high school movie sexually charged. So like they have to be 30 years old. Because otherwise it'd be super creepy, like with Woodchuck, that girl.
Yeah.
She's like clearly a high schooler, so it's weird when she's like involved in any kind of sexual anything.
Yeah.
So they make them older people because you can't feel good about yourself being sexually charged after watching a movie about high schoolers.
And it's also, I would describe it as, it's like having a friend like our age or older who still says like, that's what she said after everything. That's what it reminds me of.
Exactly.
And then the other thing about the song is they're all charged up about reproduction, but like when you see an attractive woman, like doing whatever attractive women do, you don't think, man, I'd like to dump some DNA in her. You just think like,
no, you don't.
You think, oh, she has like, she's got a nice figure. She's attractive to me. She's pleasing to my senses. You don't think like, I want her to carry my offspring. That's not your first thought.
No, that's very true. You definitely do not. Wow. Yeah, that's a very good point. You would actually really hope not to, especially at a high school age.
Yeah.
You're trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do test number 4.
Okay.
This is the emotometer overspill.
All right.
So for this test, we will use another piece of custom equipment we refer to as the emotometer. The emotometer can be fine-tuned to the emotional output of the actor in question. When activated, the meter measures the peak of emotion displayed by the actor in a given scene and compares it to the range of genuine human emotion a person would actually display. 10 cages is the maximum. Any more than 10, and we record the result. Test number 4, the emotometer overspill.
You blow a fuse, sing from, time will cut loose.
The emotometer overspill, where screaming is king.
So, number 1, right in the beginning, this is another call out to Back to School again.
Mm-hmm.
The Pink Ladies in the middle kind of interrupt the song and they say, the Pink Ladies pledge to act cool, to look cool, and to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Plugged it in, got a 16.
That's fair. And I have a question just really quickly because Cool Rider and that whole Pink Lady pledge.
Yeah,
I was listening to it, and what is cool? Like, what's cool? Like, when I never see somebody walking down the street and go, "Man, they're cool." That's a cool
yeah. Okay, all right. So
it's such a vague blanket term.
Yeah, it catches a lot, I think.
Yeah.
So it's true that it shouldn't be one of the characteristics that you're hoping to achieve as a lady, because it's undefined. It's kind of a gray area. Yeah, agreed. I don't really I don't know.
Yeah, it bothers me.
I agree now. So it got a 17 now. I'm popping it up one. Fuck
cool.
that. Number 2. Mr. Spears takes a pill, a girl screams, and then he has a stroke or a heart attack or something on the desk.
Yeah.
So that was a 22.
For who? The Mr. Spear or for the girl screaming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, sure. She might have registered. I didn't plug her in. Maybe I should have. I'll do that tonight, and then I'll text you and let you know what you got.
Yeah, do it.
I don't suppose it's going to be worse than his heart attack.
Yeah.
Okay, clip number 4. This is number 3 on the emotometer.
Okay.
Nagarelli. Balmuto.
These cockroaches are going to invade our turf one time too many. We should take care of them tonight.
Tonight, we bowl.
Hey, you're lucky. We're bowling tonight.
I like that.
Was that the whole clip? Was it the right clip?
Yeah, I felt like he laughed there, but maybe he didn't. But I want to mention that's Balmuto, so that'll at least give us context. He also does you remember when Woodchuck sees him at the bowling alley and goes in and tells Nagarelli and stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't want to pull the audio clip of him going, because he's like, when they come back out, it's him and like 30 scorpions or whatever. Yeah. So he just makes the sound to intimidate the 3, like Deuce and Jaworski or Damucci and Nagarelli, right? So they come out and they're like, it's actually kind of funny. Nagarelli's like, comb, and like starts stroking his hair and like trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do now. And they're like still trying to act tough, even though they know they're like way outnumbered. And then Balmuto is just like literally makes that sound. And then they run back into the bowling alley and he's like, and then, so just to continue on the Balmuto thing, then the rider with the helmet and the goggles, the who's that guy comes out. We don't know who it is yet, right? I mean, we do. And he comes over and he kicks over Balmuto.
Yeah.
Balmuto gets up and he goes, "Get him! Get that mother!"
Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that during the song, and you mentioned this when we did this as a pilot, but they go to him and it's just like a close up of him like standing there like with a fist looking down at the camera, and he goes, "The punk is gonna get it when we find out who he is."
Yeah. And then they're like, "We'll find him and we'll crush him."
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, overall, he gets a 26, which is a really good score.
Yeah, that is a good score.
Okay, I'm sorry if that was the wrong audio clip. I probably should have gone with the "Get That Mother."
That's fair enough.
On reflection. Okay, there was a guy. There was like a nerd in the reproduction song.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when he goes, "Oh, I think I'm gonna throw up"?
Yep. How could you forget that?
That got an 18. Okay. Michael, I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
He gets a 3, just overall.
Okay.
Don't you feel like Michael Carrington's character could have given a lot more to this role?
What's the name of the actor that plays him again? Is escaping my mind right now.
I don't remember.
It's not important. Okay.
No.
I was on the soundtrack. Normally, like the way Spotify works, it's mostly accurate from what I could tell. It has a song name, but if it's like a collaboration, it has like the artists underneath the song.
Sure.
So, and on all the songs, it says Michelle Pfeiffer. So I'm assuming she actually performed that, not lip sync.
Yeah.
So props to her, because if she actually is singing, I didn't know she could do that because she doesn't really do it in other movies. But Mike's character, what's the was it something in Pretty Lies? What's the song called? Charades and Pretty Lies.
Yep.
He sings flat in everything.
It's awful.
If it's truly them singing, the thing that bothers me is they must have done because there wasn't pitch correction back then. There wasn't like anything like, cause back in the day, like I mean, even today, like pitch corrections is no big deal. Like if you're a great singer and you do like a 5-minute take and fuck up one spot, you just punch it in and fix it real quick with the pitch correction.
Sure.
But this guy must have done 100 takes.
I have no doubt.
And then the engineer just said, "Fuck it, it's not going to get better."
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think it's crazy. Like, is he that good? Like, I realize he's a good looking guy, right? He's objectively a handsome fella. Mm-hmm. Is he that good looking that he doesn't have to act or sing or dance? He doesn't, like, he sings, but it's pure shit. He doesn't dance in anything. He's not at a bowling scene. He's not on the motorcycle driving. You know, he doesn't do anything but sing it like super flat and terrible. Is he that good looking? Really?
No,
I don't think so either. Like Aaron said, he's kind of a hottie, but like, I don't think she could justify it.
Yeah. If you were running a movie and want to make your money back, which I don't think Grease 2 did.
No, I don't think so either.
Then you'd want the most talented person for the lead role.
Yeah, exactly. Travolta killed it. I mean, I'm not like, I like the first Grease. I do. I don't think you've seen it, right?
I haven't, but like, it's the same mentality of like, hey, if you want people to like you, you just gotta stop being yourself. And like, I don't like that, but I know it's like a much more well-made movie.
Yeah.
Despite that,
it's much better, and performances are much better. But Sandy is fine. She's not as good as Michelle Pfeiffer, though. Yeah, in my opinion. I think if Michelle Pfeiffer and John Travolta combined for Grease 1.5, it would have been really good. But anyway, I digress. So I'm going to move on to the. This is the last one I'm going to mention, and then we'll see who dukes it out to face Ernest in our full-on SG championship. I wanted to mention the Elvis impersonator at the talent show.
Okay.
Did you saw him like melting into the ground, and he's like, "Oh, cry, I'm trying, cry." You know, he's like doing this like crazy falsetto and grabbing at some dude that like came out of the curtain. Then he's like almost pulling the skirt down at the Principal McKee, whatever her name is.
Yeah,
I had to mention him because it was just completely fucking over the top, and for some reason the audience is really into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that sends Balmuto into the full-on SG championship.
Okay.
So let's do this fucking thing, man.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to SG!
Cheek Arena. We have another exciting fight for you today as we pit greaser scorpion Balmuto against the defending champion Ernest. Can Balmuto take out our blood-lusting champ? Let's send it down to our introductions to find out. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends from distant nations. Introducing first, standing at 5 feet 9 inches of slick and stringy muscle, weighing in at 169 pounds from Chicago, Illinois, your challenger, Balmuto. And now, standing at 5 foot 10 inches tall and weighing in at 160 pounds of full-on ass-cheek fury, from Lexington, Kentucky, your reigning, defending, full-on ass-cheek champion of the world, Ernest P. Worrell. And there's the bell. Balmuto with an early advantage as he's brought along a few friends, and they're all mounted on cycles. Ernest is laughing violently as he pulls out a toolbox. 4 wrenches out, and he slings them with skill at each scorpion. He has successfully dismounted 3 out of 4, leaving only Balmuto on his bike. Quick as a flash, he's on the first scorpion, and he's biting his face. The other 2 scorpions pull him off, and the grounded scorpion nose comes with Ernest in his teeth. The other 2 scorpions swing and sink, and Ernest ducks. They've knocked each other out. Ernest pulls out a trumpet and wails on one, blood everywhere. The other struggling to wake, and Ernest climbs on him. Balmuto, seizing the opportunity, revs up and tries to run Ernest over. Ernest rolls off the scorpion, and he has nearly decapitated him with a box cutter. Jesus. Ernest is able to climb. Balmuto with another charge, and Ernest is able to climb on. Balmuto was ready for Ernest to mount and shoves a dagger in his eye. Ernest off the cycle, and Balmuto is amused. He pulls over with a skid and now approaching Ernest's lifeless body with a gentle pace. He reaches for the knife, but Ernest gets there first. Ernest pulls the knife out of his own eye and stabs Balmuto in the neck repeatedly. Like a punctured wine bag, we have warm Malbec squirting everywhere, and Ernest is taking his fill. Ernest, proud of his work, 4 scorpions lay dead, and Ernest is licking off his new dagger. He seems to be unaware that he's lost an eye in this exchange. Ernest remains undefeated against long odds, and I don't know if anybody can stop him. Back to you guys at the pod.
And you know he'd say something like, an eye for an eye.
Yeah, know what I mean?
Know what I mean?
Jesus, dude. All right, I'm grossed out just watching him lick that dagger off. What a message. Whew. All right, dude. You want to do your ad read?
Sure do. Today's episode of The Bomb Filter is brought to you by Cool Rider Cigarettes. For that smooth taste. If you're 35 and about to graduate high school, then make sure you're seen with Cool Rider rolled up your sleeve. Yes, 35. Is it a union thing? Is that why they have so many people approaching middle age playing high schoolers in these fucking movies? Holy shit. Cool Rider. It's technically not statutory if the freshmen are also in their 30s.
All right. Well said, sir. Okay, we're passing it on over to test number 5 now, the poor taste detector.
Okay.
So this test is designed to identify and flag potential hazards created by the film crew. These hazards consist of moments of immorality, abuse, racism, and phobias. Any other poor taste scenarios as well. Test number 5, the poor taste detector.
Oh my God, you can't say that. It's 2021.
Okay, so there's quite a few here, including a clip. Okay. So number 1 is Miss Mason to the T-Birds right in the beginning.
Yeah.
She said, I'd really love to see all of you in music appreciation this year. Johnny says back to her, I'd like to see all of you in music appreciation this year, right? Dirtbag, right? Mm-hmm. But it gets worse because Mason says back, you just might.
Mm-hmm.
So she's insinuating that she might, fuck him?
Yeah.
In music appreciation? Number 2, so that's got to be 1.
Yeah.
But this movie gets more disgusting, and we're going to do a first time ever thing here.
Okay.
Johnny forcing a kiss competition between Paulette and Stephanie is so disgusting that I think that there should count as 2 points for both, 1 for Paulette and 1 for Stephanie.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. All right. Nice. So you agree.
Yeah.
Number 3, Michael calling it a date with Woodchuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gross energy, you know? Number 4, nearly running over Mr. Stewart. I think it was Paulette in the car. She they're pulling up to school and Stewart's getting out of his car and he has to like fucking dodge out of the way to not get hit by her Ford or whatever it was.
And of course, it's one of those like, whoa, like type of.
Yeah, like, oh, no big deal.
You kids.
Yeah. Number 5, pink ladies teasing the twins for being virgins.
They're all virgins, first of all.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where I was going, because in that scene where they almost run over Mr. Stewart, one of the pink ladies is like, imagine that. Imagine dying still a virgin.
Yeah.
And then, not long after, the pink ladies are teasing the twins for being virgins.
Yeah.
So double that. But I'm only going to count it for one. Stewart and Mason flirting in front of Principal McGee.
Okay.
Probably a bad call.
Yeah.
It's your job. Number 7, all of reproduction, and I think this is so bad that we should count it for 2, at least.
Yeah, no, definitely for 2, because like it's like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's just disgusting. Like every line is just gross.
Yeah,
it's like come in a song. Like
I could have listened to One Night in Bangkok like all the way through instead of that.
Oh my God, no! Stop mentioning that song.
Yeah.
Number 10, glorifying cigarettes.
Yeah, but that was like a 60s thing. I mean, I'm not going to defend it. I think it still counts because like they're not allowed movies for like a reason, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that was just capturing the times, I think.
For sure. Number 11, Let's Do It for Our Country. Also an entire song that was important.
Yeah.
Number 12. Oh, let's play the clip because the clip is number 11. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Do It for Our Country. Yep, let me get that going right now. This is just fucked in all bunch of ways.
This is an official fallout shelter bed. Hey, you gotta be prepared. Because someday when you least expect it.
Kablam! Nucleoid war!
It started.
America is calling. Let's care enough to give our very best.
What started? What's happening, Louis?
The Russians are attacking. Get down!
For if we give our very best, I know that we will more than pass the test.
What are you doing, Louis? Get off of me!
Think about it. What if you and me was to die right here tonight without ever doing it?
It? Oh my God! Let me out of here, Louis!
You crazy? They're dropping bombs out there.
Yeah, let's do it for our country. The red, white, and the blue. It's Uncle Sam who's asking, so your mother will approve. Tomorrow I'll be fighting, and I'll win this war for you. Let's do it for our country. Our country wants us to.
Oh,
what I like to do for scenes like this in movies that are fiction, is just play it out in your head and imagine like, if you did these things. You bring a girl into a bomb shelter.
Yeah.
You slam the door behind you, and your friends are there to listen.
Yes.
They start blaring a doomsday alarm and say, I'm going to fuck you.
Yeah.
Don't leave, because this is going to happen whether you like it or not.
Have you ever seen
What
It's
does that
Always
sound
Sunny?
like?
Yeah, it sounds like rape.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
That's one show that I really need to watch.
Okay. It's good. It gets boring, but there's an episode where this character, Dennis, who is like a real piece of shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's bringing girls. He wants a boat because he can bring girls out into the ocean, and he figures he gets laid every single time because of what he calls the implication.
Yeah.
Because they're out in the ocean alone, so they're never going to turn him down because he'll like kill him and dump their body into the ocean. It's the implication, and that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
He's like, I would never do it. I would never actually kill them, but the implication
that it might happen.
It's really shitty thinking.
Yeah.
The kind of, it's good writing. It's funny, but that's what that had me thinking of.
Yeah.
So that's definitely in poor taste, right?
Yeah. No, it's in very poor taste.
It's kind of rapey.
Yeah.
Number 12, making Stephanie ride with no helmet while you're doing wheelies in your helmet.
That always gets me.
What the hell, dude? That's really messed up.
Yeah.
Number 13 on the same track, you could be kissing your cousin. You really don't. Like, if you actually have no idea who this person is, and you're just sneaking out with them, it could be somebody you're related to, or, you know, could be like the biggest nerd in school that's going to hurt your rep or whatever. I don't know what he cares about. 14, you don't want me, you can't be a pink lady, basically.
Yeah.
Johnny says to her she's got to drop her colors if she doesn't bang him.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yeah, it's like, you're just holding someone's like autonomy hostage to your wiles, if you will.
Yeah, right. Well said. 15, leaving the scene of an accidental death for a talent show. So they're pretty sure that Michael's dead, but they're not going to hang around for that because there's a talent show to go.
Oh shit! The Hoogaloo Out's about to happen.
Okay, number 16. Mr. Spears is drowning, and the Principal McGee's response is, "Oh, good heavens!"
Yeah.
Number 17. Jaworski and Woodchuck at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
Yeah.
She's like 14, and he's like 31.
That's the weirdest thing because like they cast high school seniors as like 30-year-olds, and she was actually like the proper age for her role.
Yeah. Which made it just way creepier.
That makes the implication of like what happened offset in the 80s like weird.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah, like I mean, like because like in a lot of those movies, there was just a lot of cocaine and people hooking up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Okay, yeah. So finally, the last one I had was DiMucci during "We'll Be Together." You know, the song at the end.
Yeah,
his only line in the song is, "Will I ever score?" Not the point of the song.
Yeah.
Do you have any mentions?
No, but now that you mentioned the word score, like they say it a lot, and
they do.
Growing up in the 90s, I just think of Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead. Yeah. Same. I think of Do America.
Mm-hmm.
Did not do it for America, not to be confused with.
Yeah.
Test number 6. This is accounting for entropy.
Okay.
So bad movies rely too heavily on films of the past. When recycling an idea, a director or writer is committing to a trope. Almost every movie has one or two, but bad movies have many. We count them up, and that helps us to evaluate the film. Test number 6, accounting for entropy.
Obvious tropes, brought to you by, he's right behind me, isn't he? We're gonna need a bigger boat, and well, fuck me sideways and call me Senator Blimpy.
Okay, not the tropiest movie ever, but there's some worth mentioning. Number 1, the obvious high school cliques.
Yeah.
You know, it's in every high school movie of the 80s. It's just kind of a boring format.
Yep.
Number 2, the next guy who walks through the door, I'm going to make out with.
Yeah.
It's never anybody but Michael in that situation. Number 3, the group leaders, of course, are exes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the build the bike montage.
Yeah.
So he's like in the bike shop, like working on an engine, like the pistons or something. You know, he's building the frame, all that bullshit. And then we get another number 5, the get better at the motorcycle montage.
Yeah.
Where he's like, it's kind of very Karate Kid. This actually has a lot of Karate Kid vibes, this movie. Yeah,
but the thing that bugs me is like in Karate Kid, you can believe the progression a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas, because like skateboarding, for example, that's something I did growing up, and you need to do like 10,000 kickflips before you like nail it.
All right, so how fucked up are your shins?
My knees pop every time I stand up.
Okay, because I used to skateboard too, and I don't know about you, but learning to kickflip, I hit my shin on both legs. I don't know how many times. I have if you run your finger along my shin bone,
you feel the ridges, like the bumps.
Yeah, exactly. It's like brittle. Yeah. So you're right. It would take you a lot longer.
Yeah, you need like hundreds of hours of like riding a motorcycle. At least like he's doing some wheelies. He's not doing like super hard stuff, but I'd imagine like driving by a bunch of people and kicking someone over and keeping your balance requires some practice.
Yeah, no doubt. no doubt. So bullshit.
Yeah.
Number 6, Stephanie quits her shitty job for a chance at love.
Yeah.
And we've seen that scene a lot where it's like, well, screw it. Like, I'm just going to, it adds to the romance, I think, is why they do it.
Yeah.
Number 7, the secret admirer is one of your friends.
Yeah.
Number 8, Michael joins the club.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, bad guys crash the party. The Rock-a-Hula Luau. Here they come again.
Yep.
They don't do anything ever, but least threatening motorcycle gang I maybe have ever seen. Number 10, the entire school sings We'll Be Together. So all of a sudden, everybody is just peaches and cream.
Handing out the sheet music so they all know their cues.
Yeah, exactly. So ridiculous. Number 11, the graduation hat scene.
Yep.
It's just like that is the perfect example of what I'm talking about in accounting for entropy.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just take that.
Yeah.
How many times has you all you see is the sky and then all the 100
hats or the mortarboards flopping through the air.
Yeah, right. And finally the jump at the screen and then freeze framing everybody in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 12 unless you have another.
No, that about covers it.
Yeah, it's it wasn't super tropey, but
it's not a heavy hitter, and like a lot of like just like general like musical movies. They follow a very specific format because one song's got to lead the plot along. So it's just you know some things are stock. No, I'll be lenient on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same here. I agree. We're going to do test number 7, and then we're going to get into a really fun illogical inconsistencies. Okay. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to do a little Rob lightning round, which is going to be really fun to start up the illogical inconsistencies.
Okay.
But, let's do test number 7 first. I'm just trying to get everybody excited for the inconsistencies. So test number 7 is bad effects, side effects. So this is a simple test idea with a complex but accurate structure. We grade the movie's computer graphics and practical effects on our custom scale, which I'll explain to you now. Eventually, when we have enough listeners, I'm not going to read any of these anymore.
Okay.
So listeners, keep that in mind. You won't have to hear me do this forever, but bad CGI. Phil, I'm shouting you out. He asked if we've done Deep Blue Sea yet.
Oh, we got to watch that.
We're going to have to. It's going to have to be season 3.
Just the omelet explanation at the end.
All right. So, the reason I bring it up is because bad CGI for us, we call it Deep Blue. Because of the sharks in Deep Blue Sea. Slightly better than that, we usually, when we're referring to practical effects, we're talking about a total recall would be the grade. Yeah. Because it's slightly better than Deep Blue Sea, but still kind of sketchy, especially in the year 2021. Better still, Rock Scorpion, a nod to The Rock as a scorpion god in The Mummy Returns, and the best of the bad is Beowulf, a movie made entirely CGI, which looked really good then, looks really weird now because it's almost believable, but not quite. So we're going to go through our bad CGI, I don't know, situations. I don't know what to call them, but we're going to get into test number 7. Forgive the flub, but bad effects, side effects. Let's do it. Okay, cool. Number 1, right in the beginning, again, the trampoline guy.
Yep.
You remember him? He's
supposed to be like a swan.
Yeah. So graceful. He's supposed to look like, like a really good athlete, like a graceful acrobatic kind of guy where he can like jump over a bunch of bushes and then suddenly leap like fucking Super Mario double jump into the window. It was nuts. Obviously there was a trampoline there, so I gave it a recall.
Yeah, and I would love to see the outtakes. Like
it's just
like 70, 75 takes just head first into the brick.
Number 2 is terrible overdubbing at the bowling alley. So Johnny's like, yeah. That's just like super high pitched scream, and it's clearly not singing that at all.
Yeah.
So I gave it a deep blue because it's just so noticeable.
Yeah.
How off it is. Also, I think Paulette's like, hey, Johnny, won't you give me a sign? Or, something like that. And you could tell that she's not singing that. So Deep Blue for that. But I will give them a scorpion here when Nagarelli swallows the cigarette. I thought that was pretty cool.
He probably swallowed a cigarette.
Yeah, he probably really did. So they deserve credit.
Yeah.
He deserves a nod for that. It was pretty cool. All right, another Deep Blue dude. Michael on the piano.
Yeah.
He's just moving his. I know the audience can't hear us, but basically what I'm doing is just like holding my fingers out, like kind of loose, and just moving them at different like intervals over the piano keys.
It looks like Tom Green's character in Freddy Got Fingered during the "Daddy, Would You Like Some Sausage" scene.
Yeah,
and he's got the strings tied to his fingers. He's just clamming on the piano.
Yeah. So there's no way that the sound that the piano makes would be coming out of those fingers, especially because they made the mistake of including like a piano. I don't know what you call it, but like a piano roll, like where you go like all the way down, and he doesn't move his hands at all. So why would you have that audio clip, that particular audio clip where they go all the way up the piano without him moving?
Just do what they do on Frasier and show it from the wrists up. So
yeah, exactly. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Or from behind or something.
Yeah.
Number 5, obviously not Michael on the bike bothers me too. It's kind of like Bangkok Dangerous.
Yeah.
When you can tell the body double is nothing like the person who, the actor. So a recall there.
Yeah.
You mentioned this before, but when he kicks over all the scorpions on their bikes, I give that a blue.
Yeah.
It's so obvious that I was like, wait, was it like the first time I saw it, I was like, did he just, like, was they trying to tell us that he just kicked everybody over?
Yeah.
Because I really couldn't even tell if that's what they were going for. That's how bad it was. Okay, here's a good one. Also a Deep Blue, and another nod to your he wouldn't be this good at riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Would he, after a few laps around the field, be able to bunny hop a cop car?
No.
Because there's no ramp.
You need fucking core strength because the bunny hop, you got to pull the bars up and then use your core to lift the back wheel up, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So he would have to lift like a 1,200 pound, 800 pound motorcycle.
Yeah.
Or 7 feet into the air with no ramp. So I gave that a blue.
Yeah.
Because fuck that. That's stupid. Okay, number 8, Goose and Johnny on the Road is very Seinfeld cab background.
Yep.
It just looks like shit. So I gave it a recall. The costume changes for Girl for All Seasons.
Yep.
I thought that was good. And they knew it.
Okay.
Because they kept like putting the camera on these ancillary characters who were just good at changing costumes really quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I gave it a scorpion because that's one thing that they can, brag about a little bit.
Yeah.
Number 10, Motorcycle Heaven in the talent show. I thought the whole like scene looked like shit. It's just fog and like a bunch of like paper mache motorcycles, basically. So recall. Do you have any mentions?
No. The motors. It's more for the logical inconsistency. It's just the motorcycles trying to jump the pool.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That scene does look like crap.
Yeah.
Would you say that's in line with a recall?
I'd give it a recall.
Because the result that I had after adding up 4 for Beowulf, of which they had none, 3 Scorpion, 2 recall, 1 blue, and then averaging it out, got a 1.7. So I was generous and round up for a recall. Think that's fair?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll jot that down, and then we'll get into what's going to be a really fun illogical inconsistency section.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Sure. Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay, so I wanted to get Rob's raw thoughts on each one of the songs on the soundtrack. There are actually more than the ones I'm going to list, but these are the ones that matter.
Okay.
Even a little bit. So, Rob, just give me you're a music guy. You're not a big music guy?
You're not a big music guy.
You are, though. So I'm just going to go through some of the songs, and I want to get your raw reaction to each one. Number 1, Back to School Again.
Fun, campy. It's not my type of music, but if I rolled up to school and everybody was fucking dancing and singing that shit, I'd start like stepping in line with them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I would give it my best.
Yeah.
I'd probably do the electric slide or something.
Yeah.
You know? Number 2, score tonight.
It reminds me of Beavis and Butthead. Here's the thing. If you're going to have time to choreograph and sing and dance a song about scoring, you could have just like ran some game at a bar. Or like,
yeah, right.
Or in this case, gone in the case of Grease too, like gone to an ice cream social, I guess, and chatted with some chicks.
Right. I'll take a cherry coconut burger.
Yeah, exactly.
3. Do you remember Brad?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that one?
Wait, Brad, was that on the soundtrack?
Yeah, not Brad in Our Lives, but the twin.
I thought there was
I was going off of IMDb.
It must not have been memorable because I was listening to the soundtrack. I don't think there was a title called Brad on the what Spotify had to offer.
It's the one where the twins are like doing it for the talent show, and they're like, she was wearing his high school pin. Oh, okay. No. It actually gets like 2 minutes in the fucking.
It's just it wasn't memorable, so that's what I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah, it was crap. I agree. What did you think of Girl for All Seasons?
I thought that was well done. Not my type. If you had to compare it to like Autumn Angel from Donnie Darko, I would say it's much better because it encompasses the entire year's worth of seasons.
God, what was their name? Glitter.
There was Sparkle Motion. They did Notorious by Duran Duran, but there was that Shut Up girl who did Autumn Angel, and she was just kind of like miming her hands while leaves were falling. That her mom was throwing like leaves into a fan, so kind of reminded me of that.
Sparkle Motion, good call. Cool Rider.
This is what made me wonder what the definition of cool was.
Right. Because
cool is such a vague blanket term to describe a person. It's like, oh, they're cool. Like, how are they cool? Like, do they know where a dead body is that you can poke with a stick? Or are they just like really chill?
They have goggles and a helmet?
Yeah, goggles and a helmet. So it confuses me because, and also that's not really something you want in a person. Like, you're young, you're in love or whatever, but like you want someone who's cool. Like, you want someone who's stable. You want somebody who's going to bring home the bacon, I guess. You know?
Yeah, right.
But you're not thinking about that because they're too young to be matriculated.
Yeah.
Which I learned from Back to School. They're too young to be, that's one of the lyrics.
Oh, okay. Nice. I didn't even know. I forgot where I was going with that. So, reproduction. How'd you feel about that?
I think it's stupid. It just reminds me of people that haven't gotten laid yet. It's that friend that's your age or older. We're 33. So someone who's like, on the wrong side of 30 who still says that's what she says after everything that's vaguely sexual. And it's
the guy that comes over and like Jimmy taps you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or like they say they fart and yell safety. And like,
right.
You're at like a baby shower.
Mr. Sandman by the Trio.
I could dig it. It was just fun.
Good harmonizing.
Yeah.
Prowlin' by the T-Birds.
Once again, kind of rapey. Like,
yeah.
Just when have you known the word prowl to have a good connotation?
Yeah, fair point. Who's that guy?
Just because that when we find them democracy. That song's that's 10 out of 5 stars.
Okay, great. Yeah. Wonderful. Do It for Our Country.
Rapey.
Yeah.
It's just I can't get past it. It's just it's locked her in a bomb shelter.
Yes.
It's just bothersome to me.
It's true. Charades.
Charades and Pretty Lies. I get a tuning fork, learn how to sing better. I couldn't focus on the lyrics to that because he's just like the song's like in C and he's singing in like C flat or like B.
Brutal.
Well, that was C and B and E and F are natural half steps, so C flat is technically B natural. So
wow,
he was singing in A and the song was in B. There we go.
Okay.
I fucked up. I'm sorry, everybody.
Turn Back the Hands of Time.
I prefer Cher's version if I could turn back time.
Yes.
When she's humping a cannon at the USO show.
Rock a hula luau.
I don't mind it. Remind me of South Park. The whole everything in my life goes back to South Park, just so our listeners know.
Yeah. We'll be together. That's the last one.
I mean, it put a nice little bow on things, but it's sappy. Not my deal. Not my type of song.
That's so. Those were your Rob's Raw reactions to the soundtrack, which I thought the soundtrack was laughable, but there were a couple. Like Cool Rider has it's really catchy. It gets stuck in my head all the time.
Reproduction's got a really, really good just like rhythm to it. It's a catchy song. If somebody rewrote that song with like lyrics about anything else, it would be an enjoyable song.
Cool. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get into our regularly scheduled illogical inconsistencies. Okay. So chime in whenever you feel.
Sounds good.
They open with Blanche and the Principal McGee, as if to say, "Look, we got cast from Grease 1."
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want to be like, "I assure you, we got people from the first." And just to tack onto that, they show Eugene very early on and give him more time than he had in the first one.
Yeah.
They must have shortened their summer by weeks to work on choreography for that opening scene. So they're bitching about having to go back to school, but they've all been meeting up to do this giant dance for no one.
Yeah. So when they get to school, everybody can see how good they are at dancing at school. Like they seem to really like school.
They do seem to really enjoy it. Frenchie also has a prominent introduction, right?
Yeah.
And I'll get more into Frenchie in a little bit, but I wanted to point out that she had she talks to Michael right in the beginning. She's talking to the lead, getting lines with the lead right in the beginning. So it's Mason to start like the homeroom or the science class or whatever. It's Miss Mason, the flirt. And then 1 minute later, it's the same exact class. Everyone in it is the same, only it's Mr. Spears.
Yeah.
So that was really fucking confusing.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, right. Okay, so back to Frenchie. Is she a pink lady?
I think so, right?
She wears a jacket.
Is she maybe she's like an honorary or an ancillary pink lady?
I guess. She's like, to be a pink lady, though, it's rule you must be dating a T-Bird.
Yeah.
She's not dating a T-Bird. Also, she doesn't hang out with them ever. Literally ever.
Yeah.
And
maybe they thought the camera was moving so fast that they just needed a body to be like part of that shot.
Okay.
And then people like us, like 30 years later, 40 years later, are like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, Grease.fandom.com does not list Frenchie as a pink lady in Grease 2. So she doesn't count, even though she's wearing a pink lady, jacket or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're the coach of the football team, right?
Yeah.
And you're standing on the pads that your guys are about to push.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like you might look 5 feet behind you?
Yeah.
Because they push the pads and then they push him into a hole.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What's the hole doing there?
What is the hole doing there?
Yeah.
I actually have no idea. The Scorpions cycle onto the track during school.
That turf for the track, that weird rubbery, well, back then it was probably still asphalt.
Yeah.
It's like, either way, it's fucking expensive. Like getting someone out to paint the lines and make sure the regulation.
Yeah. Sure.
It's just fucked.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, this brings up a larger question for me.
Okay.
Are the Scorpions a competing high school gang, or are these guys out of high school coming to a high school to fuck with high schoolers? Because they would have had to leave their high school altogether to go to interrupt the high schoolers somewhere else. And they have ruined the hula luau and this track meet by showing up on the motorcycles, and no one calls the police.
Yeah, it is weird because, they never really explain it, I don't think, because they could. It makes more sense that they graduated, though, and they're like it's like the working class, like Roger Klotz type guys.
Yeah. Well, it would make sense because it wasn't Balmuto in the first.
In the first Grease?
Yeah, was he?
I didn't see it.
Oh, that's right. Shit, I don't know. Let the listener decide. Okay, so this is kind of funny. There are nuns at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Did you see that? There's a quick flash. There's 2 nuns bowling.
Yeah, I remember that because when on a Simpsons episode in like season 5, when Homer's on a bowling team, he bowls against like Reverend Lovejoy and Ned Flanders, and their team's called the Holy Rollers.
Oh, nice.
That reminded me of that.
Well, to think what those nuns are about to hear.
Yeah.
Because they're about to break into song about fucking each other. So,
yep.
Must be 1-pound bowling balls, by the way.
Yeah.
They are like flinging those things around, doing 360s and axles and all this shit with bowling balls in their hands. Do they do this routine every bowling night? Because it seems like a lot of effort for one time.
It seems really expensive too, man. If you're not part of a league, because like Stacy and I have looked into it, because we just want like a couples hobby, and like, wouldn't it be fun if we got really good at bowling? And then you go to the bowling alley, and it's like $37 a frame, and you got to buy shoes. And,
yeah, it's ridiculous. I know, it's so expensive.
And these are high school kids.
Yeah, so where are they getting this money?
The gas station's not paying that well.
No, I assure you. You can hear Michelle Pfeiffer for 18 solid seconds after she jukes away from Michael in Cool Rider. Mm-hmm. So she's doing like the dance thing and walking away. And then Demushi and Michael are having full-on dialogue, and you can still hear her in the background.
Once again, that's a fun scenario to imagine in real life. Like someone's breaking out in song and dance, and like you and your friend like go off to a corner to continue talking, and they're just like 10 feet behind you, just like doing jazz hands and shit.
Yeah, just walking away. See, essays for cash would never work.
Yeah,
on handwriting alone. He has no idea what their handwriting looks like, and how's he going to he's going to have to be like a Catwoman handwriting expert to match. Or go ahead.
I know somebody who did that in high school, sophomore year.
Okay.
And the reason he got caught is because the kid he was writing for was too dumb to have written it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You saw he wrote an essay about Iwo Jima for this other kid, and the teacher's like reading his essay going like, they couldn't grasp their hands around the flagpole just like they couldn't grasp their lives after those horrible things they experienced. And he's like, there's no way you wrote that.
That's awesome. Well, perfect example. It just wouldn't work.
Doesn't work.
Back to reproduction. Page 1, where do babies come from?
Yeah.
That's more textbook bullshit. Mm-hmm. Page 1 is never the start of chapter 1.
No.
He can pick any bike for a couple $100.
Yep.
Out of the bike lot. Just anything here you can have for $200. But isn't there a value scale?
There should be a sliding scale on that. I mean, unless it's like a chop shop and it's like, listen, it's, you might buy something that's a lemon that doesn't work. So maybe it's like maybe the shopkeep, the house wins more than the customer does. So
okay, yeah, so it's a roulette kind of situation. What are the terms of the deal with a bike lot guy? Because not only is he just getting $200 for like giving away the frame and all that stuff, but he's allowed to like use the guy's tools in the bike shop and all that shit. It's just really odd, like how he's allowed to just hang around and build a bike.
I don't know a single business owner that's going to let some random person into their shit and play with all their stuff.
No way. Very easy to break into the nucleoid war bomb shelter.
Mm-hmm.
They just go there with he just picks the lock with a little piece of iron or something. It's not even quite a crowbar. He just pops the lock.
Mm-hmm.
It should be harder to get into a bomb shelter, I think.
Yeah.
Is the grocery store the best place to score some bitches?
I mean, are we talking like Publix or are we talking like ShopRite?
All right. What do you think's more likely?
Trader Joe's.
Okay. Probably. I have a spider on my foot. Okay. Got rid of it. Miss Mason is also Stephanie's English teacher.
Oh yeah.
Because when they're at the burger bar, he's like, says incestuous or whatever, and she's like, "This will really impress Mrs. Mason." They could have made up any name. It doesn't matter.
They could have, but it's also a nod to the fact that like we did have some like math teachers that doubled as like science teachers, and they had to wheel the cart around, never had their own classroom.
Yeah, that's true. Doing more work.
Yeah, for no more money. Oh God.
The entire school joins in on every musical act unless you're Michael singing charades, where they're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to join in with that bullshit song. So I guess that's consistent.
Yeah.
Maybe. Where are we going? I don't know. Just go, say the Pink Ladies when they're following the bike chase.
Yeah. And
somehow they follow correctly. They pick the right direction, go down the right streets somehow. So this happened in Batman and Robin, I wanted to mention. Stephanie sings a new song, like impromptu, and the band knows what to do.
Yeah. How's that? Yeah, you have to suspend disbelief, but it bothers me because that's not how stuff works.
Yeah, because like, the crowd reacts at the end, right?
Yeah.
So, like, she definitely did just sing.
Yeah.
But here's one step further. Who's singing Michael's part if she's in a kind of dream sequence where that's not actually happening? She could be singing it, but then there's no Michael. So is she just kind of like, remember I saw you? And then, like, just silently, like, the whole crowd's just like, what is up with this girl?
Yeah.
I hated that Mr. Nagarelli and Mrs. Anoni win the talent show in different acts, and then that makes them king and queen of the Lani Luau. Yeah. That wasn't mentioned. The winners get the 150 long playing records or 100 long playing records.
Yeah.
Right? So why is it that they pick a guy and a girl from different acts to win out of nowhere like that?
So they could, like the Lady and the Tramp, like start flipping through the records from opposite ends and then meet in the middle and kiss or something.
Yeah. Principal McGee's trying to hook him back up.
Yeah.
The Raka Hula Luau choreography goes from mid-afternoon into the night. So they are like dancing their asses off with pom-poms and shit for like 4 hours solid. Okay.
The next day, they're all just laying down like, fuck. Shin splints.
Yeah, that would be me for sure. Okay, lastly, so the whole talent show takes place as it was intended to, correct?
Yeah.
Everyone assumes Michael is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Who's playing piano?
Yeah, there's a lot of holes here.
Yes, believe it or not, Grease 2 has a lot of holes in the plot. That's what I had. Do you want to do your movie review?
Oh yeah, let me just grab that real quick.
I just realized that today. I was like going back over the inconsistencies in my notebook, and I was like, wait, who's playing piano at the fucking talent show? That's fucking horseshit.
All right, here we go. School is back in session. Kids want to be cool. Bike goes vroom vroom. Cool riders go bowling. Attempted rape in a bunker. Grab the popcorn and plop your kids down in front of this one, because there's also teachers who are probably down to fuck students. The action, the romance, the humanity. Grease 2.
yeah, dude. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to do bad credit names, then we'll compare movies and talk about what we're going to watch next week.
Okay.
Cool. The last time that we did this one, I also did bad credit names, and I was not able to pull out as many as I did this time. However, I will say, not very funny.
Okay.
Tim Board.
All right.
Lee Pole.
Okay.
Don Kahn.
Yeah, I like that one.
And Didi Khan, who plays Frenchie.
Okay.
So Don Kahn and Didi Khan.
Okay.
Leaf Green, who I think plays DiMucci.
Okay, that's a good name.
Leaf Green.
Leaf Green.
Tim May, which had me thinking about South Park.
Yeah.
Tim May. Two more. No, three more. The person who helped to write Who's That Guy and Turn Back the Hands of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Louis St. Louis.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Robert C. Gutnecht.
That's a winner right there.
Yeah, but it doesn't win because the last one I have is Buddy Bowels.
That's a good one.
That's the
Buddy
winner.
Bowels.
Okay, you want to compare the movies?
Yeah, let's do it.
Battlefield Earth, -40 and Prey for Keystone.
Okay.
-25 and Prey for Keystone on Grease 2.
Okay.
Plot, 81 seconds, 2 stars for Battlefield Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Plot for Grease 2, 33 and 4 stars. So right off the bat, Battlefield Earth takes 2.
Okay.
IDC, though Grease really tried, they had 22. Yeah. That's fucking impressive, right?
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth, 25.
Yep.
Emote. Bermuda didn't quite get to the level of Turl with 26 instead of a 27. Turl beat him up there a little bit.
Yeah.
We do have a victory on poor taste, though. I feel like Grease 2 was in more poor taste scenes than Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
18-15.
Wow. All right.
And I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah.
22 tropes for Battlefield Earth, so they take that one over the 12 for Grease 2. And then bad effects, side effects, recall for both, so that's a wash. So it's a 5-1 victory for Battlefield Earth, and it's just kicking everybody's ass. But that's why we have seasons, right?
Yeah, that is a clean. Yeah, it's gonna be a clean sweep for this one for Battlefield Earth.
It's just destroying everybody. So Ernest is again your champion, and that motherfucker, that maniac, is not going to lose anytime soon. It looks like. We'll see who might challenge him in our movie next week, which will be
the 1999 version of The House on Haunted Hill.
Hell yeah. So we're going back to Spooky Town for Halloween season. And I remember this one, and I remember being like totally ruined for me. So I'll get into that next week. It's going to be really fun. Mm-hmm. It's a bad movie for sure. Really bad.
Yeah, I think this is one of like, I'm normally like, I don't mind things when they're bad. I'll power through them. But I remember being like, I was 11 years old when this came out. I probably saw it when I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And I remember turning it off like halfway through and going,
yeah, it's definitely really bad. So I'm looking forward to next week. Do you want to plug us?
Yeah, okay. So we are the Bomb Filter. You can email us at bombfilterpod@gmail.com. That inbox is looking a little lonely. We know you. We see the metrics. We know you're listening to us. So you should write in. We'll read you stuff out on the air. You can read anything out on the air.
I'm really hoping that those two. So I always tag like on our Instagram like posters for the movies and stuff. I always tag people that I think that I might offend a little. So I went like I hashtagged like Grease 2 fan club, blah blah blah. Okay. I tagged like 3 of them. So this week we did actually get some fight back because we had a couple of people like in the comments, and I'm assuming they're not listening. If you are, I do hope that you tell us how you think we performed on our breakdown of Grease 2. But I per your advice requested that they email us their opinions and that we would read it on air. But as you said, we're still a little lonely there.
Yeah.
So next week, I'll tell you what, if you guys are listening and you want to tell us what you think of Grease 2 and why we're wrong and why we're assholes, email us, and next week we'll read it. We'll at least summarize you as honestly as possible.
Yes, and also we are available on Spotify, Anchor FM, Pocket Cast, Google Play, every podcast app. You can plug in the RSS feed and just listen to whatever you'd like. I use Overcast a lot, and I've used Podcast Addict before. They're both good apps, so
cool.
You can listen to us that way. And Chris, you want to just plug the social media real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, we got a TikTok. I don't use it, but if we start getting followers on there, I definitely will. So if that's your thing, hit us up on TikTok. And when I see an influx of people, I will start making more videos. We are also on Reddit. We have a page if you want to look us up. We have a Twitter, which is also not super active. We are more active on Instagram for sure. So find us on Instagram. The more followers, the better. We have a lot of content on there, and Rob is constantly posting polls and questions that are really interesting, keeping us engaged over there. So it's a lot of fun. Follow us on Instagram. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you next week, guys. Spooky time.